The Amazing sure know how to leap ground in a short period of time. From last place in the NL East a week ago to first in 2 straight home series. The Mets swept rival Atlanta opening last Friday night with a 5-2 win as their 10-game homestand continued at Citi Field. The Amazons followed that with a 3-1 win and then a rain-shortened 1-0 victory on Sunday night. Starter Mike Pelfrey rolled to 4-0, outdueling Braves pitcher Tommy Hanson before the skies opened in the 6th. The Mets had captured their 4th straight and 6 of 7 in Sunday's win. Angel Pagan said for the Mets, there is no place like home.
I want to ask you about getting a chance to come home and how important this homestand has been for you guys.
It's been great. You know, we had a rough road trip in Colorado and St. Louis, and we just had to get back to home and battle back and play the best we can. And well, it's been great. You know, we've been playing outstanding baseball, and man, we're back to 500. That's what we're looking for right there.
I think the one thing that was impressive for me with Pelfrey was the fact that, you know, instead of giving in maybe at a certain time like McCann that one time, he just went ahead and, you know, he threw some pitches and then got some swings, but, you know, he walked him and then got the ground ball double play. And that's something I think last year he might have just thrown one and said, here you go. And this year it's like he's pitching. And, you know, when you do something like that, that's impressive.
And in the first of 2 at Citi Field, Johan Santana brought the good stuff, tossing 6 scoreless frames, and Jason Bay hit his first home run with the Mets, who shut out the Dodgers 4-0. The hit parade kept rolling for the Mets in Game 2 as David Wright broke out of his recent slump, leading New York's 11-hit attack with 3 hits and 4 RBIs in a 10-5 win. For good measure, John Maine and the Mets made it lucky number 7 Wednesday afternoon. Pagan hit a 2-run triple and Bay scored twice and had an RBI, lifting the Mets into first place in the 7-3 win over LA.
A lot can change in a week, and, you know, we come home 4-8, and after 1 week we're 10-9, and that's, you know, we still got a long ways to go, and we want to do a lot better than that. But you know, I mean, it was a good series for us.
Who put that on TV? That wasn't in the script. The Mets are in first place. The Mets are in first place. That can't be in the script. Is that in the script? Rena, am I still asleep? Wow, the Amazons are balling. They're balling. The Mets will get a true test tonight when they open a 3-game weekend series in Philadelphia against the second-place Phillies. The big game of the series will be Saturday when Philadelphia's ace Roy Halladay opposes Mike Pelfrey. Pelfrey hasn't allowed a run in 24 innings. Speaking of stingy pitching, last night at AAA Buffalo, veteran knuckleballer R.A. Dickey going to take a step forward. Dickey allowed a leadoff single before setting down the next 27 batters, a modern-day team record as the Mets AAA club defeated Durham 4-0. The Mets even have a 35-year-old journeyman mowing them down in the minors. Okay, enough of this orange and blue talk. Here in the Bronx, this is a Yankee town, and with the Bombers coming home for a new homestand beginning this weekend against Chicago, is there anyone hotter than Robinson Cano and Fuego Caliente, Mr. Robinson? Caliente! Cano, the only hitter in the major leagues batting above 400, crushed 2 home runs and collected 3 more hits Thursday night as the Yankees avoided losing their second series of the season. That was wet. In Baltimore, Cano went 8 for 13 with 3 long balls during the 3-game series and might conclude the greatest April in Yankees history if he keeps his average above 400 tonight. Cano will finish the month with 8 home runs and a 400 average. No Yankee has ever done that, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. The last major leaguer to hit 400 with at least 8 April home runs was the steroid man, Barry Bonds, 6 years ago. Cano helped the Yanks wrap their 9-game road trip with a 4-0 victory over the Orioles. A.J. Burnett earned his 3rd win of the season, tossing another gem. The hard-throwing righty went 8 scoreless innings and K'd 4. Last week, Fordham had the baseball play of the week, courtesy of Brian Konacki. This week, the journalism lead of the week comes from Fordham Sports Information Director Joe DeBarry. Open quote, the last time a Fordham University football player was drafted by an NFL team, Lyndon Johnson was president, gas was 34 cents a gallon, and the NFL held their 2nd ever championship game, something called the Super Bowl. That all changed as quarterback John Skelton was drafted in the 5th round by the Arizona Cardinals. He was the 155th player drafted and the 6th quarterback selected at the 75th annual NFL draft. Close quote. For the whole story, check out FordhamSports.com. As for Skelton, the young QB who made my top 10 stories of 2009 earlier this year, has a real chance to prove himself in Arizona. The 6'5" Herculean of a QB could slot in right behind Matt Leinart on the depth chart with the retirement of Kurt Warner. Skelton is the real deal. He had to wait until Saturday, the final day of the 3-day NFL draft. but his pro career has come true. Welcome to the NFL, John Skelton. We're working on having John in studio. Big week for the Rams here in the Bronx. Moments after the draft was completed, Fordham senior offensive lineman Andrew Chaiskavsky, I think that's how we're saying it, received a phone call from the Indianapolis Colts, who offered him a free agent contract. He will join John Skelton in the NFL this season. On an NFL side note, Alan Faneca was released by the Jets this week. He, too, joins John Skelton in Arizona after inking a free agent deal. The Jets and Giants have rookie camps opening this week. From the gridiron to the NBA hardwood, the Lakers have returned to form and lead their first-round series with Oklahoma 3-2, while San Antonio pulled a major upset Thursday night, eliminating Dallas in the opening round. Phoenix also won their series 4-2, topping Portland Thursday night. The Spurs will face the Suns in round 2. The underdog Utah Jazz lead Denver 3-2 in the other Western series and can wrap that one up tonight. In the East, even a banged-up LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavs were too much for Chicago. They won that series in 5 games. Orlando swept Charlotte in another lopsided affair. Surprisingly, Milwaukee leads Atlanta 3-2 in the other series that could also be over tonight. The Celtics, who took care of Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat in 5, will face James and the Cavs in the Eastern semifinals. On a final side note from the NBA, Sacramento's Tyreke Evans, a lot of side notes today, takes home Rookie of the Year honors, and former New York Knick Jamal Crawford, now in Atlanta, has been named the NBA's sixth man. Another good Knick somewhere else. NHL playoffs. Pittsburgh will take on Montreal after their stunning upset of top-seeded Washington in the opening round. Boston will battle Philadelphia in the other Eastern semifinal. And in the West, number 1 San Jose faces off against Detroit, while number 2 Chicago faces number 3 Vancouver. San Jose took game 1 of their series with the Red Wings 4-3 Thursday night. Final sports roundup note. Another note. The road to the Final Four will have a new look next season, as previously reported. On Thursday, the NCAA's Board of Directors approved expansion from 65 to 68 teams and endorsed a proposal to add 3 more opening round games to the schedule. That's your sports roundup. Let's close out with another amazing list. Keeping it in the Bronx, folks, this weekend is a big one for Fordham. It's spring weekend at Rose Hill, and the athletics calendar is packed with 2 crucial Atlantic 10 series for the Rams, as the baseball team hosts LaSalle all weekend, while the softball team hosts Charlotte on Sunday. Honestly, the Rams deserve a big weekend, and they should dedicate this weekend to Mr. John Skelton for putting the Fordham football program back on the map where it belongs. Fordham, once the home of the great Vince Lombardi, will benefit greatly from the success I believe Skelton will have in the NFL. He's the real deal. Trust me, I watched him all season, and he is clearly one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the draft. Regardless of where he was taken, you can make a serious case for him actually approaching the top 3 of the quarterbacks. Do me a favor, go to youtube.com and type in John Skelton highlights. You'll thank me later. That's your sports on Bobby C.